Hey guys, this is E with Scrapbooking with Me, and we had a request on our, I don't know what we're going to call this. It was just something that you would like to see used that you might have around home. And one of the requests was small fabric scraps. Now, I have all sizes of fabric scraps. Some of them are teeny tiny, some of them are huge. I've just pulled out a whole selection over here. And then this is a piece of old canvas. You don't have to use this for the background. That's just what I'm going to use. You can use another piece of fabric. You can use a piece of cardstock. Whatever you have laying around, you can use that. I'm just going to glue them down to here. So what we're going to do, I hope, is glue these down, some of these fabric scraps down to this, and we're going to make a journal cover out of it. Now this is way too big for a journal cover, but what I have left over, what I'll do is I will make some little fabric flips and things like that with it. Now I'm going to show how I'm going to glue a few pieces and then I'll glue more and come back. Now I'm not going to stitch these together with a sewing machine. I'm actually going to try some hand stitching on this, so don't know if you're interested in that. If not, that is fine. You do not have to watch the hand stitching. I'll show probably a little bit of it on one of the videos, and then that'll be all I'll show unless you guys just want to see more. It's been many years since I've done hand stitching, but my mother did teach me all of the embroidery stitches. It's just been a long time since I've used any of them. So we shall see how all of this turns out. Now, some of my scraps are not the size that I want to use. So what I'm going to do is, first off, I got to get all these strings off of here. I can't stand the strings. I'm going to start just at the edge and put some of these down in just different ways and just like you would collaging with paper. Let's just collage this way. I'm not going to glue these completely down. Like I could use my PVA glue, but I'm not going to glue them completely down because basically I just want enough glue there to hold them long enough for me to stitch. So I'm just going to use my glue stick and just start putting them down, and I'm gonna let them hang over a little bit just so when I start to trim I'll have enough extra there. As I use a piece, I'm just gonna lay it off to the side. I did pull out some solids just because I thought I might want to put some solids in between, and then somebody had sent me these, so I pulled these out because I thought we might want to add some of those in there. Who knows? So we'll just see what happens. I've just got, mine are just all wrinkled up too. I'm not real particular when I put away my fabric scraps. I just kind of roll them up and throw them in a box. Maybe you shouldn't do that. But that's just the way I am. Now I've made plenty of quilts in my life. My mother was a quilter. She made quilts to sell to make extra money for the family, and I've helped her make many quilts, but now I haven't made a journal cover, a quilted journal cover, so we're going to see what we can do. Like I said, these are so wrinkled, I probably will have to actually iron the whole thing before I can stitch it together. I love the frayed edges on these, so if they have frayed edges, I'm probably going to leave that on top. I just like that look. I don't know. Some people may not, but I do. Okay, I think we can go with that. I'm not sure that piece is completely straight, but we're going to put it down anyway. It'll work. Now, when you're doing this collaging, just even with paper collaging, just kind of remember that you don't want your ends of your paper or your fabric to be even. Like I didn't want another piece right here even. I want it to be uneven. Now on quilting, you basically do just the opposite. You want them to come out even depending on what pattern you're doing. But on this, I don't want them to come out even. Okay, now this is going to take a while. I may either speed it up or, you know, I don't know what I'll do, but we'll do something. I may do a few and then speed it up and let you guys see, or just do a few and then come back and let you see what I'm doing. We'll try. Either way, I don't know. But isn't this something? I love this fabric right here. I wish I had a ton of that, but I don't know. I don't remember. Someone sent it to me, I think. And I don't really remember where I got it. I think I'm going to tear it right there. And see, all of those smaller pieces that I'm putting over there, I can come back and use those again somewhere else. And I'm thinking that I might put that right in there. I'm not too crazy about the edge on that, so I might just grab another piece of something else and put there. I have some more of that somewhere. Right there. And I know you say, well, that's the same color as the background. Why not just leave it? Well, I want the texture, so that's why I'm not going to leave it. You need that extra texture. Thickness. Ooh, and see how that frays? I love that. I know I'm crazy, right? I'm crazy, crazy. Okay, now that one, I don't want that one to come to the end of that. So I may pull that back a little bit more, like that. I'm kind of liking that combination there. Just going to put a little glue down here to get it started. Then we'll stitch. And I'm not the greatest at stitching, especially since I have so much trouble with my wrist. But I can still do most of the stitches. It's just some of them I have a little problem with if I have to twist my hand a lot, I have a little trouble with it, but we'll see what we can do. And I know you probably should put lots of thought into this. You know me, I don't put a lot of thought into it. I just think, you know, if it's pretty to me, it's pretty. It doesn't have to be over thought about. Nope, something about that I'm not caring for. Let's see. Maybe run it this way. Yeah, I think we'll run it that way. And then we can either put a little extra piece at the bottom or just leave it, because like I said, that's going to have to be trimmed off anyway. And you may have smaller pieces than this. That's okay. Use them. If they're smaller, just use them. My glue stick actually holds this pretty well. Alright. Now, I like how that's looking so far. And just pretend that that's cut off even there. So now we need to come back with something else over here. I have these cute little pieces. They're pretty too. I may just put a small piece right there. I like how that combination looks together. So let's end it about right there. And you can see some of my pieces are a little bit bigger, but they're not big enough to make a journal cover out of. So that's why I'm doing this. I think that might be too long, but we'll see. And you can cut all your strips if you want. I just like tearing them. And the thing of it is, if you put a piece down and you go back and look later and you don't particularly care for it, with this glue, you can pull it up without damaging anything. So don't think it's down there permanently, and you can never do anything with it until you stitch it. Well, even after you stitch it, you can still take it up if you want. Just take the stitches out. Now, if you don't hand stitch, you can do this stitching on your sewing machine. I just don't particularly like the look of the sewing machine on this type fabric, but you can definitely do it if you want. Not anything wrong with it. And some of these I may even come back and fray a little bit more. I don't know. We'll see. So now we need something that goes this way. This is going to, somewhere in here is going to be my seam or my spine, so I don't want to put, you know, little pieces on there that are going to be little short pieces. Let's come back with a darker one maybe and put it maybe across there. And most of these are like a floral seam, so let's see. I don't think I want it quite that long. Cut it about right there, and these will be some nice pieces to use again. And if you put a piece down that's got, like this is a big piece, if you think, oh, that's just too big, it's taking up too much room, just come back in with another piece of something and put it there. You know, you can always go back and cover it. I mean, they're scraps anyway, so it's not like you're wasting anything. Like that. Let's see what else we might want here. There's a cute little piece that will work in there well. I've got some yellow. See, that's got a little bit of yellow in it, so I think I could pull some yellow in over here and get away with it. The reason I chose to go with this particular background is because this fabric is pretty thin. It's not real thick like a lot of the fabric. So I think it would do better on something like this. But like I said, you can always put it on whatever you have. It doesn't matter. I don't mind if this is a right or a wrong way. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to put it right down through there. And on a lot of these, I'm going to go ahead and glue the edges, even the edges down, because I'll let this lay aside and dry. My glue dry completely before I start trying to stitch. So it's not going to hurt anything. It helps me to see what it looks like if I put the glue down. Put everything down good. Alright, what have we not used? Let's see, we haven't used any of this, have we? This is a cute little piece. My mother would probably just die laughing if she saw me doing this. If she was still in this world, she would. She'd say, "What in this world are you doing, girl?" Alright, I think I might go down here with that. I don't particularly care for all of that together. It's too many flowers. So let's try another, maybe more solid piece. Not that one, we've already used it. Oh, we've got some of this. Even though it's got the same color burgundy in there, I don't know. What do we think? I'm not sure about that. I'll lay it right there and think about it a minute. I do have some of this. Now, I didn't pull out a ton of my scraps because you would not, we'd have been here for 3 or 4 days. I just pulled out some of them. Maybe another piece of that there. That's more of a plain. Even though we've used that here, this will be kind of on the back by putting it there. Okay, I'm going to cut some of this end off. I don't, it doesn't have to be straight. This one is definitely not cut straight or torn straight, but that's okay. Strings, strings, strings. Yeah, I kind of like that. We've got so many flowers right in there, we needed something to kind of tone it down just a little. So this will work. Don't want those ends even though. That one there and that one over there. Now if you didn't want to stitch this at all, you could probably use some PVA glue and put it down and let it dry and it would be fine. But since I want to do a little bit of stitching, I'm not going to go that route. Alright, we're going to tear off a piece of this and see what we can do with it. I think I'll tear it a little narrower. I'll have a pile of strings when I get through here. What do we think? I don't know. I think I want to run this way for some reason. Yeah, let's run it this way. That one is long and it goes up and down, so I just didn't want to run this one the same way. Whoa, there went my glue stick. This does eat your glue up. So, if you need more glue sticks, you know where to get them. Let's see, what else we got? What do you use the yellow? We haven't used any of this striped. I don't know if it would even work or not. Let's see. We might use a little piece of that up and down. So let's see, like this. Now I'm also lapping mine over. If you don't want to lap them over, you can put them right up, butt them right up against each other. I know, you're gone, but I want to try to get every bit I can out of you. I guess that's all. Okay, let's see. Okay, we need something between the pink and this. To me, it doesn't look right. It's too obvious there, I think. Just to break it up a little bit, I think. So I'm going to put that down. That does have a little mark on it right there, but I'm going to cut that off anyway. And then fray that a little bit. Or I'm not going to cut that off, but I'm going to cover it, I should say. See, I like that much better with that little break between it. I am not liking the way that looks there, though. I think I want to make it the other way around. I think I want it like that. I want this on top so it will fray, but I don't want that little edge on there. So let's see if we can tear that. If we can, I'll just have to get another piece. Nope, it won't tear. We'll put that over there and we'll get another piece. Yes, I like that much better. That other just didn't work for me. Okay, well, I'm liking it so far. I don't know about you. You may think it's a big mess, but I like it. I tend to like it. But I love quilting anyway. I love quilts, so this has always been kind of my cup of tea, because my mama, she quilted every piece of rag she could find. She put it into a quilt. I don't like the, I love that, but not in this. This is a softer texture and that's a thicker, so I don't think I'm going to go that route. Now I have this piece, but it's very, very bold. I don't know if that would kind of throw everything off. I think it would. Don't use that one. Let's try a piece of this. This is like a upholstery fabric. Even though it's thicker, it still kind of goes with the pattern that we got going on here. So I'm going to put that on there. Oh, I'm not going to tear it though. I'm going to cut it. That is very thick. Well, it's not as thick as it's just hard to tear. And we'll fray that side a little bit, I think. It helps if I put glue down. Now, if you don't want to see me put every piece of this fabric down, you can just fast forward through it. This will probably be what we do today, though. It's just put our cover together, or this fabric together, and then we'll come back and do the stitching at a later date. Let's see, I think I had a little scrap of, what about this? This is kind of a, I think that would work well. Maybe there. What do you think? Across there. We've got that little piece that we could put there, and then put a piece of this down through there. What do you think about that? We could bring in another piece of the pink. I think I'll bring in another piece of the pink since we've got some of that right here. I don't want to put them together. So I'm just going to bring another little piece of the pink right here. But I think I'll put it under this. Maybe. Let's see what it looks like. Under that. And then over that. No, I don't like that. I'm not liking the pink with this, so I've got to come up with something else. What do you guys suggest? Maybe another piece of this in there? Just to brighten it up a little bit. Right across there. Let's try that and see what it looks like. I look up in the camera because it tells me more than me looking down on it. I don't think we've used this before, have we? No, not anywhere. So, do we want it that way? Do we want it that way? I think I want it right across there. You know, you can also make tags this way. Just have a good background for your tag. A good strong background, and then put fabric on it. Just scraps the fabric. Alright, we've got a bunch of just ends right there, so I'm going to cover them all and just bring this piece over where it doesn't, you know, it's not in line with anything. This would probably, my mother would probably call this a string quilt because I've got little strings of everything. I may come back with something right here because to me that's too much of a solid pink right in here and then this. So we may come back with something in there in a minute. I need one more piece right here, and I'm thinking about a piece of this that has a little bit of that yellow in it. Maybe just that little bit right there. Let's try that. This is a pretty fabric too, and I made a journal out of it last year. And this is all I had left. I love fabric. I love fabric almost as much as I love paper. I think I'm a little bit more of a paper hoarder than I am fabric, but I do love my fabric. I wouldn't be kin to my mama if I didn't. Alright, do we want this up here? No, that's too many flowers together. Let's put that up there, and we'll cut it off about right there. There's no telling how many quilts in my mom's lifetime that she made and sold to make money for the family. Because we were dirt poor. We didn't have anything. And at that time, my dad was an alcoholic, so he stayed gone all the time. And what time he wasn't gone, he was drunk. So my mom basically raised us 8 kids by herself and supported us, and she couldn't go get a job because she had too many kids to take care of, and she had little ones too, so she made quilts and sold them and washed clothes for people, and we had chickens, so she would, you know, we'd have chicken eggs that we would take and sell to the local little store, and we done everything we could to make a living. And somehow we made it. We survived. We didn't starve to death. I think that's why now my kids fuss at me, because I keep the pantry stocked. I keep so much stuff here. Even, I mean, I don't eat half of it, but I keep it here because I tell them, they'll say, Mom, why do you buy so much? And I'm like, I want you kids, when you come over, to have anything to eat that you want. My grandkids, I want them to be able to have all the food they want. I don't want them to go hungry. I don't, you know. And I think that's why I buy so much now. I overcompensate now for what we didn't have when we were growing up. I want to break that up, but I'm not sure exactly how I want to do it. Let's see. See, that's already sticking pretty good, but it can still be pulled up. It's just that it's sticking down pretty good. What do we think about that? I'm not crazy about it, though. Maybe that? Well, I like that a little bit better than I do the other. Or, what about that? I think I want this to be the front of my journal, so that's why I'm trying to make sure that this looks a little bit better than maybe the back side. I think I don't mind that. I'm going to put that down. I can always pull it up if I look at it later and I really don't like it. I can always pull it up. Do something different with it. Okay, make sure that none of my little end pieces meet there. See, once you get stitching around it, it's not going to look as like you just, oh, I just laid that piece down there, you know. It's going to look a lot better. The strings is what's going to drive me crazy. Now they're sticking to my hands. Okay, then again, I think I want something right down here to break this up a little bit. I think I put a little bit too big of a piece of fabric there. So what about a piece of this here? Nope, not that side. All right, I've got 3 different edges coming together here. So let's see, if I put that there. Let me look in the camera. Put this back up some. I like that little piece, though. I don't want to cover it up. All right, I'm going to get a bigger piece of that, of this. I think I'm going to get this complete flower right here, or almost all of it. See what that looks like. Yeah, I think it looks better if I cover up more of the pink, you know, all the way across, instead of just a piece of it. I don't know which way's the right way up with this. Okay, I think I'm going to go that route right there. And cut it off right there. And I don't want these ends to be even, so I'm going to pull that over a little bit. And then that'll work because I still want to see that little piece. Okay, we're going to go there. We're going to go there for now anyway, unless I change my mind later. Bone folder even works on fabric, guys. Alright, just so that I can get the visual here, I'm going to trim this little piece off. It's not going to be straight yet, but it just helps me see the end here. Okay, so what if we folded this? Let's say this was the journal cover, which is still too big, but let's just say it was. I kind of like that. I do think that right here I needed another piece. Either I need a bigger piece of this here, because I don't like that pink showing so much right there, I don't think. I'm not real sure. I think maybe if I made that the journal cover, you know, it would be cut like this. What about if I brought that little piece in right there? I'm looking in the camera. Let's see, let me pull it up. Look at it. Put it down. Look at it. I like it there. I think I'm going to do that. It's just too much solid right there. And it, you know, the more layers you put on here anyway, the better. So. And I like that frayed edge, so. There we go. We'll definitely keep those frayed edges. What I'll do when I'm stitching is stitch back here and keep the frayed edge. Now if we have any little lumps and bumps, like right here I've got a little lump, I'll just pull them out when I start stitching. It's not a problem. Get it as flat as you can, and then you can always come back and fix it when you start your stitching process. Even if you stitch on the sewing machine. You can always come back and do the stitching. I'm liking that for a journal cover. Like I said, it won't be this tall. It'll probably be, well, where's the 9 inches? I make mine about 9 1/4. So the bottom part's what I'll cut off probably, because I've got this ridge here. So it'll probably be, I want to get some of this, some of that. So it'll probably be about that tall, from there to there. So that'll be good. It'll be a good space. Let's pull it back out and look at it. So I'm going to have enough for a journal cover and then some tags, maybe. I think I can have these back here, tags. I like that. So this is one thing you can do with your fabric scraps. Another thing, I'll show you one more thing that you can do before we end the video. I'm just kind of looking over to see if there's anything else that I need. Now, I don't have any little fabric swatches that are, you know, like flowers or anything, but if you did, that would be cute. You could, in these little spaces, you could do that. We may do some little funky stitching in these places. Maybe make a little flower or doodle a little bit or something on those empty places there. We'll see. I'm going to put this under some heavy books and let it dry for tonight. And then we'll come back and maybe tomorrow we'll look at this. I don't know. What do you guys think? It's a good patchwork journal cover, I think. Alright, I'm going to lay this aside and I'm going to show you one other thing that you can do with your fabric scraps. Now, with your fabric scraps, you can make fabric flips. This would be a really pretty fabric flip because it's got that edge on there. So, let's go ahead and I'm just going to see how this side will ravel. Looks like it does pretty good. You won't believe it, the strings I've got over here. And I know a lot of people save those strings. I don't save all of these because I have so many that come off my sewing machine anyway. I've got plenty. But you could save these and then use them in your journaling. Okay, I'm just trying to get a little bit of raveling going on both edges that look similar. This one is a natural where they made it, but this one over here is not, of course. And then I just need to even this up a little bit so it doesn't look so weird there. Okay, now with a fabric flip, I don't make mine but about 6 inches. Yeah, about 6 inches, maybe 7. It's the tallest I make them. Okay, Edith, you can't tear that. Remember, it doesn't tear. You gotta cut it. Okay, so this could be a little fabric flip in your journal. Let me grab some kind of page here. So this is your journal page. And this could go many different places. You could glue it down up here, stitch it down up there, whatever you want, and then you'd be able to flip up and you could have a little journal card or something behind it. You can also stitch some little pieces of paper behind here that you can write on and then just put the whole thing down there. Let's try that. Let's take this little piece right here and we'll just cut some pieces or tear some pieces. Look at me, I'm getting it ready like I was going to tear it with my hand. Yeah, this is not fabric. Let's do this side. And of course you could use all kinds of things. You don't have to use anything like this. You can use your scrap cardstock or just coffee dyed, tea dyed paper, anything you have in your stash. I'm going to tear those little edges off on this one since they would stick out. And I'm probably going to have to tear it off a little bit. Is that the way I had it? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, let's go ahead and see what else we have over here that we could put down there. I didn't drag out a lot of regular paper, so I may not have. Let's see, I see a little piece sticking out right here. Hold on. Hold on. There we go. You ever have days when you just feel like your clothes are not put on the right way? This shirt all day today, and I've worn this shirt 1,000 times, but all day it has felt like it's been on backwards. I have checked it 2 or 3 times to see if I had it on backwards. I don't know. Some days things just don't seem to want to fit right. And this just happens to be one of those days. Now, all these don't have to be the same height, of course. Okay, I think that would be enough to put behind this one. So, let's see. Do we want that on that side? I think I'll put it on this side. This little frayed part on that side. And then I'm going to grab a little piece of vintage lace and put over it. Have this little scrap piece. Just put it like that. Now, here again, you do not have to stitch this. You can glue all these together. But I'm going to run it through my sewing machine real quick, just for time's sake. But you don't have to do that. Or you could stitch this top if you wanted to. Just stitch it all together. I'm going to let that lace hang off just a little bit. Not a lot, just a little, like that. Let's see if I've got something here I can clip it with. Okay, I'm going to take that to my sewing machine and stitch it. Alright, see, that's ready to go in a journal. And it's just got some little paper behind it that you can use to journal on. So if this was our journal page, I would just glue it down here at the top and put it down like that on the journal page. And then it can all be flipped up and written on. So that is a little fabric flip. Now, people make them different ways. That's just one of my versions. Sometimes I don't even put anything behind them. I just put a little card on the page behind them. And you can also decorate this up and put some different things on the front if you want. I just happen to see this laying there. What would that? No, that's too big. It would cover everything. But maybe, you know, you might glue a flower on here or something like that. So we'll put that aside. Let's do a tag, just for me to show you what a tag would look like. Patchwork tag. Now I'm going to use this, just these old time cards. And I'm going to use some of the small pieces that we had left. And we'll put these down on here. Oh, I've got strings everywhere. Strings. Okay, let's see. I think I'll tear that right into, just use part of it. And put a little portion of it up there. There we go, and let's see. Let's do that little piece down through there. And this is literally just tossing it together. Okay, we've got this little piece. And you can even work with smaller pieces. If you don't have pieces this big, sometimes on tags it looks better to do the little smaller pieces. Okay, I want this up a little bit. I'm going to cut this top off, I think, since it's so solid. spray that a little bit, because I kind of wanted those candlesticks to show on there. Didn't want to cover those up. It was a little bit long anyway, so that'll work. And then you get to the point where you've got so many strings on you that you can't get them all off. Okay. Now, what do we need? I think I'm going to use a little piece of this, maybe right there, and I'm going to actually leave the little pieces, that little jagged edge. I think it'll be alright this time. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. A little piece of this. Now I want something a little brighter, I think. Maybe a little piece of this yellow on here, down here at the bottom. Yeah, and I think I'm just going to go all the way across with it. Yeah, like that. So just get a hard surface for your background. It can be a piece of chipboard, a piece of cereal box, cardstock, whatever you have to do the background with, so that it's kind of stiff. And then just start layering. I'll lay that aside. I'm going to cut this little piece off just so it gives me a better idea of what I'm doing here. Now we need a little piece right there. And what does that piece need to look like? Maybe a piece of that. I don't want it to be too solid, so no, that's matchy too much. Maybe a little piece of the pink. Okay, I don't mind that. Now, my skills at putting things like this together in my eye may be completely different from yours. You may look at what I do and think, oh my word, that's just a big old mess. But everybody has a different version of what looks good to them. I mean, there's very few people that the same thing looks good to them. It's like Melina and I mean, we very seldom agree on things like this. She'll say, oh, mother. When she does that, oh, mother, that face, I know that something's not completely right in her eyes, but to me it may look good. So, you know, don't worry about, oh, I don't think I'll make that because it's just not appealing to me. It doesn't, you know, do your own thing. Make sure that it's appealing to you. I don't know if I want to cut that off or not. You may want smaller pieces, different colors. It's all in the beholder's eye. I think I am going to leave that. I'm not going to cut that off. First I thought I would cut it, but then I think it breaks this up a little bit at the bottom, so we're going to leave it. Okay, I'm going to trim around the edges a little bit. Just see, make it a little bit easier to see what we've got. And of course this will be stitched too, but it may just be stitched on the sewing machine. I don't know. Something this small, I don't mind stitching it on the sewing machine. But when you have to start stitching a big piece like that one a little while ago, sometimes I get wrinkles in them and I don't like that. But now that's me. You may be able to stitch it with no problem at all. But I tend to get wrinkles in it and I don't like the wrinkles, so. Okay. Oh, big glob of glue. Glob of glue. I don't mind that tag. I think it's cute. And then we can come back if we wanted to with maybe a larger flower on here or a bird or whatever. Just whatever you think would go with your journal. But what I'll do probably when I stitch it, let's see, what will I do? I think I'll stitch it like a quilt, like a patchwork. I'll come down through here, over here, down, and then over. And I'll stitch around each block when I stitch it, but I'm going to cover the back first. And I have to let my glue dry. I can't stitch it right now or I'll ruin my needle on my sewing machine. Now that little piece is really trying to fray big time, so that's where the stitching will come in. It will stop all the fraying. But I think that's cute. I'll go ahead, if I have time, if this dries in time, I'll go ahead and finish this one off so that you can see what it looks like when it's completely finished. But I'm going to have to let it sit and dry first, so we'll see. But that's another thing that you can do with your small fabric scraps. Make some tags. They're really pretty and they look good in your journals. Alright guys, I think that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, I hope you'll give it a try and then share it over on our Facebook page. That link is always below. We love to see what you create. We will talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.